Is there natural selection in Among Us? 8th grade science, Littleton Elementary School District, Littleton Elementary STEM Academy, Westside Impact Science Fair. Introduction. For our science fair experiment, we decided to apply our knowledge of natural selection to the popular online multiplayer game Among Us. The goal of this experiment was to discover which color crew member was eliminated the most often and why. To prepare for this project, students from each 8th grade homeroom played 10 or more games of Among Us and recorded which color crew member was eliminated first. After discovering which crew member had been eliminated the most, students researched why that color was the least desirable trait for survival.
To conduct this experiment, students completed 10 rounds of Among Us without playing as the imposter, who is capable of eliminating crewmates. During each round, students would record which crewmate was eliminated first by either other crewmates or the imposter player. After finishing all 10 rounds, students would report their data to class where it would be compiled and analyzed. After the data was compiled and analyzed, students would determine which crewmate had the least desirable trait for survival by comparing how many times each color crewmate was eliminated first. Once the least desirable trait was discovered, students would research why that trait did not help crewmates survive. They would note their findings in a brief essay and submit their work for peer review.
After data has been collected, analyzed, and reviewed by students, it was discovered that red was the most eliminated crewmate. Students then determined that the color red was the least desirable trait for survival. Students then set to work researching if there was a scientific reason why, as to this was the case. Students found that there were a number of reasons why this particular trait caused these crewmates to be eliminated the most.
I feel as if the red crewmate is eliminated the most because red is simulated with aggression. Bulls really seem to not like the color red, but actually, like most cattle, are colorblind. They actually get agitated by the thing that's moving around, which is the cape. Because the animal feels threatened, it's charging out whatever moves, which happens to be the red cape. According to some scientific research, why did humans and monkeys evolve to hate the color red? Red is the color of anger and hatred, of imminent danger, and deadly. Deadly. Even the English language tells us that seeing red is a bad thing, and this aversion of red might go back to our earliest mind that is saying, "Be cautious of red. Red means danger. Red bad." If the crewman happens to see an imposter, they may think in the back of their mind, as default, is like the switch is flipped. Crewmen are the targets, but for some reason, red happens to die the most. Because of the imposter's primitive default thought of red is dangerous and must eliminate red, this is why red seems to die the most, in my opinion. I
I feel as if the red crewman is eliminated the most because red is the color simulated with aggression. Bulls seem to really not like the color red, but actually like other cattle are colorblind. They actually get angry by the thing that's moving around, which is the cape, because the animals feel threatened. It's charging at whatever moves, which happens to be the red cape. According to some scientific research, why did humans and monkeys evolve the color red? Red is the color of anger and hatred, of imminent danger and deadly heat. Even the English language tells us that seeing red is a bad thing. And this version for red might go back to our earliest primate relatives. Maybe because humans dislike the color red so much during Among Us, there's a certain trigger in the back of their mind that is saying, be cautious of red means danger, red bad. If the crewman happens to be an imposter, they may think of They may think of that as a fault, as like a switches for crewmen are targets, but for some reason red happens to die the most. Maybe because some of the imposters' primitive default thought of red is dangerous, must eliminate red. That's why red seems to die the most, in my opinion. I usually like to play between guards. I'm sorry. I usually like to play between green and purple. Now, after writing about red, I want to write about what happens with dark green and purple. Now, purple is associated with many different things, but purple is also associated with royal nobility and luxury, power, and ambition. Purple also represents meanings of wealth, arrogance, creativity, wisdom, dignity, grandeur, devotion, peace, pride, mystery, independence.
Red has been eliminated the most, I think, because the color red has the color red is of an icon of the app, and I think that it most stands out a little more than than the others. I also think that the red is a possible the color that always has been closest to the imposter. There's also a possibility that people kill red because maybe they just don't like the color or that person's behavior during the game. Also, maybe red gets killed because they're also sus or acting sus. I also think that the color is mostly seen to others as as a bad color, or like an evil color. So maybe people just feel worried that so when they kill red because red might be a red might be good at the game and find out that they're the imposter first before anyone else. For example, some of the friends share out why red gets killed the most, and from the others that they gave us, I can say that I can support my answer. I feel for example, someone said that since the icon of those games was a red person on it, then it's possible that they were most targeted. Another person said that maybe the imposter just doesn't like the color red. Another person also ac- acts the most suspect in every game. This example shows how red is the most targeted in Among Us games, and the students have played. It was discovered by students in their research that natural selection does not favor red crewmates in the world of Among Us for several reasons. First, red is bright and noticeable color associated with aggression or danger. Second, red crewmates are visible in all marketing for the game, making them infamous. Third, the red crewmates are used as decoys by experienced players acting as imposters. Students concluded that if the color red was a trait passed down by the crewmates to their offspring, after a few generations it would be removed from the gene pool.